Good morning, traders, and welcome to the daily call today, Wednesday, the 25th of January. Before we get started, as always, please understand that any advice in today's session is of a general nature only, that your personal circumstances have not been taken into consideration. All right, so let us start off. In Europe and pretty much overnight, the flash PMI number came in at 55.1, close, a little bit better than the forecast, and the flash services just slightly under at 53.6. Now, the Eurozone economy essentially continued to expand at quite a robust pace for the start of 2017, with employment rising at the fastest rate since 2008. So basically, this is giving us a good sense of optimism about the business outlook for 2017. So we'll continue to monitor the euro, see if we break through some key levels and possibly head back towards that 108, 110 level. Okay, moving along. The big event of the trading session that happened overnight was the EU membership court ruling. And essentially what happened was the UK Supreme Court ruled that the government of the Prime Minister May must seek parliamentary approval before triggering Article 50. Essentially, the Supreme had two key points to rule on. The first was what I've just mentioned, and basically the first was the parliamentary approval issue, but given the 100-seat majority position, this just appears a mere formality. The second key point was that the Supreme Court had to rule whether Northern Ireland, Scotland and Wales all had to be consulted before the Prime Minister May could proceed, and the court ruled negative on that. Essentially what this means, it's paving the way for the March timeline to invoke Article 50. So what happened with the market? Remember we said that this would be quite volatile. If I have a closer look at a 5-minute chart on the cable, GBPUSD, we can see that when this announcement came out, we had a swing of around about 100 pips. I've highlighted it for us there in the yellow, but basically it appears to be that the investors are quite at peace and have accepted the Brexit decision, as you can see that basically the cable recovered back to around about that 125 level. So let's that was the big event of overnight, the court ruling, as I said. Those were the results from that. In the US, it was a quiet night. Essentially all we really had was existing home sales, and that came in more or less on the mark at 5.49 million. So that's what happened overnight. Time to look at our chart of the day. Yesterday's chart, of course, we did get a really winning trade out of that, and Monday's chart, we're still in that trade, so let's just keep going. But today I have found for us, what have I got? GBP CAD daily chart, and if you have a look from what I've highlighted for us, we can see this key level over here that I've marked in has previously acted as a resistance. We can see the market has kicked off it a couple of times, and the question mark now is, as we're pushing towards that same level, will it now turn into resistance? Okay, sorry, I should have said it acted as support, and now will it turn into resistance? So let me zoom in. Let's take a bit of a closer look and let's see if there's anything on there. You can probably already see it from my screen, but as I zoom in, I can see that I have a nice setup over here across these two candles. I've got an engulfing candle at a potential resistance point, so this would be considered a type 2 trade, a little bit more on the aggressive side. For those of you who don't know the strategy, please come to our classes on Thursdays where I cover it in depth. But essentially I have an engulfing candle, the new candle has started, so I'm triggered straight away. Anybody who's interested in this trade, there it is, monitor it. It's the GBP CAD, and that's our trade of the day. So what's happening in the coming session? Okay, At 11:30 my local time, which is Australian Eastern Standard Daylight Savings Time, we have CPI numbers for the Aussie, so keep an eye on that. 11:30 coming up shortly. Later in the evening we have the German Info Business Climate numbers at 8 o'clock. 2:30 in the morning we have the crude oil inventory. So this one's more anybody trading the CAD, just keep a lookout on that. CAD's been quite volatile, reacting to the oil news of recent time. And then early tomorrow morning at 8:45, before I do tomorrow's daily call, we get New Zealand CPI numbers. That's all that is, those are the highlights for the session to come. Of course, don't forget tomorrow is a public holiday, but that does not affect the Forex market, so it would be business as usual. And as always, guys, please feel free to contact us if you have any questions. Follow me on Twitter at ChatFX for trade setups and breaking news. Most importantly, I hope you all have a great trading day and have a great public holiday for all you who live in Australia, and happy Australia Day for tomorrow. Bye for now.